They cannot fathom and they don't think for a second that someone else can have a different experience, a different perspective. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to deal with difficult people. Unfortunately, we all have to deal with difficult people from time to time. Sometimes it's at work, sometimes it's within the family, friends, or whatever the case may be, right? You could be trying to co-parent, you could be trying to deal with a difficult family member, or it could be a boss. If you work in the service industry, in retail, or anywhere that you have to talk to customers, this is especially true because we know that people can be very difficult and entitled. And the technique that I'm going to show you today is just so that you can deal with them quickly, move on with your day in the least exhausting and less, in the least exhausting way possible. And we're going to be talking about a technique called deep. So I learned this technique from Dr. Ramani. She has a YouTube channel. She has a few books. She is a clinical psychologist and she has amazing content. So I would 100% recommend watching her channel and checking out her books. If you have already established that this person is difficult, they're entitled, they're antagonistic, and they're always looking for conflict, then you need this technique. Okay, and the technique that Dr. Ramani developed is called DEEP, and this stands for don't defend, don't explain, don't engage, and don't personalize. I love this technique so much. So let's start by the beginning. Don't defend. The thing with this is that it's a hard one, right? Because of course, when someone is accusing us of something, doing something wrong, something that is not true, whatever, we want to defend ourselves. But remember that they're not listening. They're not listening. They don't care what you have to say. I mean, go off, sis, if you want to defend yourself, but you might as well be talking to a wall. Not only that, but you'll be left exhausted after this exchange. A lot of the time, these type of people will also do this to get a reaction out of you. So if you defend, you're giving them exactly what they want, which is a reaction. And then once you react, then they're gonna be like, oh, why are you so defensive? Or why are you, no, you're crazy. I never said that. That never happened. So if you do defend, they are going to minimize and invalidate your point. They're gonna make you look crazy and gaslight you, right? So don't defend. It's not worth your energy. But it is so hard, like I said, because of course, if someone's accusing you or something, or is saying something the way that it didn't happen, or they're saying something that is not true, then it can be really hard not defend ourselves because, of course, why wouldn't you want to set the record straight, right? In this case, it's not gonna work. So just spare yourself the exhaustion and don't defend. On to the next. Don't explain. This kind of like ties into the previous one, but let's explain it a little bit. Explain. But the twist here is that these difficult and high conflict people usually have shady or nefarious intentions. So they think that the world is out to get them the way that they're out to get everyone. And it's certainly not uncommon for them to believe that what they think in their narrative is the only one that holds true. So again, you're gonna be wasting your time if you try to explain. They cannot fathom and they don't think for a second that someone else can have a different experience, a different perspective, thought process. Sometimes when we find ourselves in like a conflict with someone, or like someone is saying something that doesn't hold any truth, or it's not like what happened, or whatever the case may be, we think that if we just explain to that person well enough, that if we communicate enough and we just lay out everything on the table, then it's just gonna click for them and the light bulb's finally gonna turn on and they're finally gonna understand what you're coming from and be like, oh, is that what you wanted the whole time? Or whatever. But this is not gonna happen, right? We've already established that this person is like this. So this technique is to spare you the disappointment, the exhaustion, the making you think that you're crazy. We're just trying to move on here, right? And the thing we're trying to explain is that the same with defend. You're talking to someone that is not actually listening to you. So why would you waste so much of your energy trying to explain to this person when they really just don't want to understand because they think that they're the only one that holds the truth? This person is not listening to you. I know that you think that by explaining to them, you're trying to get them to see your point, but that's not gonna happen. If you're waiting for that, you have a lifetime of disappointment ahead of you. You better sit comfortably because that's not gonna happen, sweetheart. Not anytime soon. Okay, let's go to the second one. Don't engage. This is pretty much or similar to gray rocking, like Dr. Ramani said on her video. And if you haven't heard of gray rocking, it basically means to make yourself as boring and as plain as a gray rock, right? So not engaging, just being like, yeah, talking about the weather, small talk, not try to touch any topics that could cause conflict or contradict the high conflict, difficult person. You have to be as bland as, I don't know, a food that is bland. So let me ask you this. The last time that you engaged with someone like this and got into it with them, trying to explain and defend your point in all of this and engage in their nonsense, what was the outcome? It probably didn't feel nice, did it? And it probably left you feeling invalidated and just exhausted and sometimes kind of infuriated, right? Because it's like, frick, why can't I just get this person to see my point and understand where I'm coming from, right? So we can actually communicate and make this work. But with people like this is sadly just not gonna happen. So yeah, don't engage, just don't get into it with them. And I would recommend that if you don't know what gray rocking is, again, Dr. Ramani has amazing and tons of videos about these topics. When was the last time that a difficult, high conflict person told you that you were right or just understood and you were able to have like a normal conversation with them? Did that ever happen? Did they ever get your point? I doubt so. So just be boring for them. You can smile, even if it's insincerely, and just move on with your day. Okay, that's what we're trying to do here. And the last one, don't personalize. And it is exactly how it sounds. Don't take it personally. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. People like this are constantly projecting and are just like mad that the world doesn't revolve around them, or they think that the world revolves around them, and they're so entitled and again just difficult and antagonistic that everything that goes against that, it's going to be a huge problem for them, and they're going to take it out on whoever's closest. So don't take it personally. You are not responsible for anyone's behavior. It's just easier for them to blame this on you and to make everything is your fault. The way that they reacted, it was because you baited them. The way that they did or the reason they did X, Y, and Z, it's because of you, because of what you did, because of what you looked that day, because of whatever the case may be. They're always gonna try to project all their negative stuff on you. So just don't take it personally. Really don't. Just let it slide. Like, not slide as in like, oh, just let that person slide, but like, just don't take anything that they say to heart, because most likely they're just trying to throw a temper tantrum. Like Dr. Ramani said, if you think that, oh, if I apply this technique, then this person is just using me as a doormat, they already were. They already behave like this. So what we're trying to do is shorten the rant, minimize the exhaustion that characterizes how you feel after you interact and you with people like this. So yeah, we're just trying to move on with our day and let them throw their temper tantrums by themselves. Because honestly, the chances of them changing are slim. So that's it for this video. I really hope that you liked it. I am really curious to know if you would apply this technique or if you prefer to get into it with them Great if you share this video with anyone that could find this information helpful. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.